What is up, everyone? Alex here, and today we are doing another champion skin tier list, this time on Ashe, the Frost Archer. Real quick, I just want to apologize for the lack of videos. I promise that I really am trying to get on a better upload schedule, but I have been incredibly sick the last 2 weeks, and the 2 times I've tried recording, I sounded like that one lady in Spongebob who, well, just play the clip.
What's all that yelling? You just can't wait for me to die, can you?
Right. That's more or less what I sounded like. Anyway, back to why we're here. We are talking about Ashe and her wide variety of skins today. She is one of the original 40 champions of League of Legends and has been one of my favorite champs since I started back in 2010. So she's been around for a while and has quite a few skins, so we're going to quickly go over our tiers and categories real quick, and then we'll move on to the tier list. Now, if you watch the Ezreal video, this will look familiar since it's actually ripped straight out of that video. Leave me alone, editing is hard. So, let me quickly go over what they mean because I don't want anyone to feel attacked or triggered when their favorite skin is in too low of a tier. It is 2019 after all. The only skins I personally dislike are in D tier. If you like them, that's totally okay. You're allowed to be wrong. It's fine. C tier is generally for older skins or ones that just lack a little flash or style compared to the other skins. B tier are for overall good skins. Nothing really wrong with them. They're just kind of great. A tier is for absolutely fantastic skins that are going to be the cream of the crop, and S tier is for my personal favorite of all the skins, the one that stands out a little ahead of the rest, at least for me. Alright, next, let's get our usual categories on the board, if you would. Thank you. Thank you very much, editor. Those look really good. But we need our unique category for Ashe. So, what should we go with today? I'm thinking capes. Let's go with capes.
No capes!
Whoa, who are you? How did you get in here? Now, listen, this is my tier list, and we're gonna go with capes.
An express elevator. Diner guy, snag on takeoff. Splashdown, sucked into a vortex.
Those are some solid points, but this video is super overdue, so we're just gonna stick with capes, okay? Alright, I'm gonna need you to be okay with that. Alright, I think I've wasted enough time with my little intro, so let's get into the tier list. First up in our D tier is Queen Ashe. Now, I've never liked this skin ever since it came out, but maybe it truly is the fact that she loses her cape and trades it out for a dress, but it always struck me as weird, especially for the type of character Ashe is. Listen. In her lore, she enters into a political marriage with Tryndamere and becomes a queen, hence the skin. But she always strikes me as this noble warrior who would lead her troops from the front line, and doing that in a dress seems difficult. And it doesn't seem like something she would do. Again, these are opinions, as I've never actually gotten to interview Ashe, as she is a video game character. The skin itself also doesn't do anything else besides giving her model a change. It's a legacy skin and has a cost of 975 RP, which is overpriced for just a model change, at least to me anyway. Next up, we have Merida Ash. This is another example of a skin that does nothing besides change Ashe's model. It retains a cape, and even I have to admit that she looks pretty badass, but she has so many other skins that keep her character intact while also giving her some other flashy stuff that looks cool. It is on the cheaper side of skins at 750 RP, and unlike the previous skin, it is available to buy due to the whole not being a legacy skin thing. Her bow looks really cool, but honestly, I'm really struggling to find something cool to say about this one. I know some people like this skin and are going to disagree with me, and seriously, all jokes aside, that is my favorite thing about making a tier list, is because I get to see other people's perspectives, which is always fun for me, but for now, that's all I've got to say on this one. We now move on to our C tier. So I actually like these skins a decent amount and may use them from time to time depending on what mood I'm in. We'll start out with her Freljord skin, which at first looks like it's just a palette swap for her default look, but the white kind of pops out from the green of Summoner's Rift, and we're going to mention something cool. It gets new visual effects on her spells and autos. They're very slight, but it's enough to keep it above D tier. She gets white particles that match with her overall aesthetic, and last but not least, her splash art reminds me of Marilyn Monroe, and I will not apologize for letting that influence the tier list. Next up is Sherwood Ash, and similarly to Freljord, it does again seem like it is just a palette swap, kind of like we're playing Super Smash Bros. Or something. but I really love the green. It's just really vivid and the shade is very pleasant to my eye. It's also an homage to Robin Hood and elves from Lord of the Rings, which I'm pretty sure we've already established that I love both those things. Again, similarly to Freljord, she gets some visual pizzazz on her autos and spells, this time a slight green wispy effect on them, which won't be the last time we see those, by the way. And speaking of that, we are now going to talk about Woad Ash. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Alex, according to the arbitrary rules of your dumb categories, this should be F tier because she doesn't have a cape in this skin. Well, I mean, thank you for your astute observation, random YouTube viewer, but you're forgetting one important detail. My list is arbitrary, so just roll with it. Remember when I said we'd see those wispy green particles again? Well, this skin gets them too. Not the most original spell effects, but just like in Sherwood, it is a nice change for things. I think this executes the whole make Ash look like a badass thing a little bit better than the Marauder skin with some sick Celtic-inspired tattoos. Before I made this tier list, I didn't like this skin that much, but over the course of the research, it is really grown on me, and I think it's a good get. It also helps that it's 520 RP, and you can go ahead and pick it up in the store right now. Next up, we'll be getting into our B tier. These skins are flashier than anything else we have in C tier, and the only reason they don't end up in A tier is just because they're outclassed due to updated animations or some really cool stuff. The first skin in our B tier is Amethyst Ash, and at 975 RP, it's got some really cool particles to go along with the new RPG endgame looking armor she's got going on. Honestly, the particles alone are what carried this into B tier because it doesn't have anything else going on to set it apart. The particles are just that cool to me. There is something incredibly satisfying about landing a long-range sparkly purple arrow to really get the enemy top lane tilting. You have to enjoy the small things in life, am I right?
A Vortex 6-liter V8, a box full of hollow points, and Lord willing, a GD Twinkie. Gotta enjoy the little things.
Next up, we have Heartseeker Ash. So, quick, not fun fact about me is I dislike Valentine's Day, and I don't really like the color red, which makes this skin an anomaly because of how much I like it. It definitely has nothing to do with that backing animation. Can we see that again? Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to be doing something? What am I doing? Oh! Tier list. Right, Ash tier list. Right. Okay, so it is of course a Valentine's Day skin, so if you're expecting a lot of heart-shaped particles, you'd absolutely be correct, as literally all her spells get little hearts added to them. Her normal arrows? Hearts. Her hawkshot? Hearts. Her big ulti arrow? You better believe that's going to be a big old heart-shaped arrow that's ready to stun someone for a year and a half from across the map. It's obviously worth noting that this skin is a holiday skin, and so you can only buy it around Valentine's Day, which kind of makes up for the fact that it gets a cool backing animation and Amethyst doesn't. Like I said, B tier skins are great, but they just lack some stuff, and that's where A tier usually beats them off. Wait a minute. Beats them out is what I meant to say. I was thinking of the recall animation again. Don't judge me. All right, moving on. I think that is going to wrap up our B tier. So we are now in our A tier, and it is pretty much worth noting again that A tier are pretty much flawless to me. S tier is just reserved for my absolute favorite skin of a champ, and I do not want to get into the habit of having multiple skins in S tier because I feel like it'll get a little messy at that point. Anyway, let's move on to our A tier. Let's talk about Cosmic Queen Ash. It is astonishing looking and maybe even a little terrifying, but in the best possible way. Her model is incredible. She gets a cool spectral cape, a regal looking space headdress, bow that looks like it's gonna shoot world-ending arrows. It's very well designed.
How do you like the curves? I was talking about the bow.
They give her voice this filter that makes her sound all ethereal and kind of like some kind of cosmic entity. Oh my god, some stuff just clicked on why it's called Cosmic Queen. Has anybody figured this out yet? All her particles are of course changed up. Her autos and volley look like she's shooting these little star streams out, but I want to put special emphasis on her hawkshot and her enchanted crystal arrow. They look especially cool to me. When Hawkshot arrives, it explodes in a constellation that looks, well, it looks like a hawk. And when her ulti hits a champion, there's an explosion of little constellations that pop out afterward. I haven't even mentioned the fact that the skin has a bunch of chromas. Why does Ashe have so many good skins that are out of this world? I don't need to impress you. I'm going to end this entry with just showing the recall animation because I don't think my description of it is going to do it justice. Roll the clip and I will see you in 10 seconds for the next entry. So check this out, despite it being one of the biggest and most popular skin lines, I have yet to review any champs that have a project skin. So the project skins are one of my favorite skin groups in the entire game, which is unsurprising because they're very sci-fi-like. They love holograms on the character models, they love hard light weapons, drones, and digital-looking spell effects. Basically all stuff the general public would have had access to if everybody had just gotten together and put their differences aside and just worked together at Area 51. Ashe gets all new voice lines in the skin, which is just lovely because I feel like this is an overlooked feature of skins that a lot of people don't pay attention to.
Avarosa, guide me.
In 400 feet, turn left.
Thanks, Avarosa.
But it's often really refreshing, especially when you have over 100 games with a champ. Her new spell effects and particles on her abilities and autos are also really slick looking, and the only reason I'm not talking about them more is just because they're not really surprising, and you could definitely just assume correctly what they're going to look like because of the skin line it belongs to. This isn't a bad thing by any means, by the way. Her Hawkshot becomes a drone named Avarosa, which is a fun reference to Ashe's lore, and this drone is also important in her jokes, which actually have gotten a chuckle out of me. Her taunt and her dance. The dance being a reference to Pharrell Williams' choreography in Daft Punk's Get Lucky. No, I will not be playing the song. I'm not looking to get arrested and thrown in the back of a black van, never to be seen again, since we know YouTube goes after the real criminals. I know I've droned on about the skin a lot, but it's only because there's a lot to unpack with it. Just two more things I want to mention. Firstly, it reminds me a lot of Hunters from Destiny, with the visor and the cloak. That's just a me thing since that's what I play in Destiny. Secondly, I love how the hood turns on if you're far from one of your turrets and it will turn off when you're in a safer area. As if anywhere in the world is safe for an 80 carry with no escapes in a meta where assassins are everywhere. So, to celebrate the Season 7 championship, Ashe got this skin and I gotta say, it's pretty good. So, Game of Thrones can keep its stupid chair because Ashe has a way better one, and it's not made of stupid swords. What kind of design choice was that? That can't be safe at all. Not like Ashe's throne here, on the other hand, totally safe. She just shoots a bunch of arrows into the air and they land in the throne she's sitting in. Okay, somewhere out there is an OSHA employee throwing up uncontrollably right now. Also, yes, there's 7 arrows that land in the throne because it's the championship skin for Season 7. It's very clever. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be talking about the skin. It gets gold particles. They're cool. Here they are on screen. Yay! It also has a pretty rad golden chroma that I actually enjoy using. So everything in A tier is pretty great and pretty phenomenal and pretty, well, pretty. But we have one last skin to discuss, and it is... Before we get to that, we actually have a pretty important guest here to present the Ashe S tier. Mr. McCree, would you mind letting us know which skin has won the award?
It's high noon.
Thank you very much. It's actually quite hilarious to me that McCree agreed to do that due to the memes that have spawned from Blizzard's game Overwatch. They created a ranged hero with silver hair named Ashe, and people immediately pointed out the many similarities, and by many similarities, I mean pretty much what I just said. So I guess Riot basically wanted to repay the homage by giving Ashe this Ashe-inspired skin. I know it's really confusing, so let's hop into why this skin is my #1 favorite Ashe skin. Besides the whole I'm trying to please the YouTube algorithm overlords by talking about the newest one of her skins thing. First up, she gets all new voice lines by her returning voice actress, which we've already established I like a lot. Then she of course gets a new taunt and a joke, a dance with a pretty jaunty tune.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen this horse? Anybody? What? I'm a one-way ticket to the pearly gates. Make your move, Slick.
She gets a shadowy steed named Virtue, who I've only just met, and if anything bad happens to him, I will murder Nocturne and use him as a shadow transplant in order to fix him up. It's not like the current meta is using Nocturne at the moment anyway.
Back, ye demons! Virtue, to me!
Her abilities all, of course, get changed up with new effects. One of my favorite things about it are the new animations on her bow when she is using her Q ability, which just gives it this mechanical look to it that just looks really cool to me. Another really cool thing is that after using her ulti, she gets this angelic look to her that she keeps until she dies again. This skin was so good that while I was sick, I had to get my hands on it and immediately tanked my rating insta-locking Ashe every game while having a fever and making really dumb plays. I also had a bunch of bills due, but if you guys don't know I have an addiction to buying League of Legends skins, well then you guys haven't been paying attention. Whoops, that was my power going out. Hey guys! Just wanted to say thanks for watching my dumb video about Ashe. It gets me really warm and fuzzy whenever I see those views and likes going up, and it makes me really motivated to get to the next one. Go ahead and comment how you'd place Ashe's skins, or maybe you want to tell me who you want to see next. I have read every comment I have ever gotten, even if I don't react to them, so I can't imagine that trend will stop anytime soon. So keep at it. I love hearing from you guys, even if it's to say stuff I can improve on. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. I'm thinking that with the whole production process of making these and the busy schedule of being an adult, I'm aiming for these skin tier list videos to be out around patch time every 2 weeks. I would love to shorten the time between the videos, I just don't have the time right now due to the whole being so sick I almost died thing. So I wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who is patient for these, and I love and appreciate you. Anyway, I will see you all in the next one as soon as I call the electric company to get my power back on.